Hello, this is Ben Television News Roundup, a compilation of major stories in the week ending. I'm Tunde Alabi. Thank you for being part of the program today. Prime Minister Theresa May has said that Britain is an open economy with innovative investors and workers which must be protected. The Prime Minister, who was speaking at the launch of Matthew Taylor's review of modern working practices, stated that the interest of employees on traditional contracts, self-employed, and people working in the gig economy will be looked after.
Belief that at the heart of that change must lie a commitment to greater fairness in our country as we tackle the injustices and vested interests that threaten to hold us back and make Britain a country that works for everyone, not just a privileged few. And a determination to address difficult issues and take big decisions in the long-term interests of Britain so that we emerge from this period of great national change stronger and better able to seize the opportunities ahead as we fulfil the promise of Brexit together. And though the result of last month's general election was not what I wanted, those defining beliefs remain. My commitment to change in Britain is undimmed. My belief in the potential of the British people and what we can achieve together as a nation remains steadfast. And the determination I have to get to grips with the challenges posed by a changing world never more sure. I'm convinced that the path that I set out in my first speech outside Number 10 and upon which we have set ourselves as a government remains the right one. It will lead to the stronger, fairer Britain that we need. It will deliver the change people want. It will ensure we make the most of this opportunity to ask ourselves what kind of country we want to be and to answer that question with confidence, optimism, and hope. And that is why I'm so grateful to Matthew for the report that he is publishing today, because the issues it confronts go right to the heart of this government's agenda and right to the heart of our values as a people. The nature of employment is central both to our national economic success, but also to the lives we all lead. From the end of our childhoods until the years of retirement, if we don't win the national lottery jackpot, the vast majority of us will expect to devote at least half of our waking hours on most days of the week to work. A good job can be a genuine vocation, providing intellectual and personal fulfillment, as well as economic security. With good work can come dignity and a sense of self-worth. It can promote good mental and physical health and emotional well-being. And our motivations for going out to work are deeply personal. It's how we provide for ourselves and our families. It's how we pay the mortgage or the rent to keep a roof over our heads, how we put food on the table and provide for our old age. And as Matthew says in his report, work is a pathway out of poverty. Think of the household where a mum or dad, a brother or sister or a grandchild moves into employment. They can gain the security of a regular wage, the opportunity to plan for the future. A child can grow up seeing a parent go out to work every day and inwardly form the expectation that they will do the same. Imagine that child a few years later, taking the step from education into employment and starting her working life on the front foot. She's setting herself on the road to a fulfilling career and a happier life. Imagine her father, who might have been unemployed for years, who might have given up all hope of working again, getting a job thanks to the tailored support of universal credit. He will have helped himself, his family, and the whole country. That is the real value of work, and we should never lose sight of it. At the same time, we will always back enterprising small and medium-sized business owners. They are people who take risks with their own economic security in order to start and grow a business, contribute to our national success, and provide employment to other people. They don't play it safe. They put faith in their talent and hard work and take a chance. When they succeed, we all benefit. So as an aspiration becomes reality, as an idea becomes an invoice, we will back those who dare to dream and who dare to think big. And my message to them is clear and unequivocal. We respect the work you do, and we will always be on your side when you do the right thing. And our task, informed by the work of Matthew and his team, is to make sure that the high standards of our best employers become the benchmark against which all employers are judged. As the world of work changes, our practices and laws must properly reflect and accommodate those changes, because good work is in the interests of good business.
Also, Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn has solicited the support of people in businesses, education and politics to revive Britain from a decade of poor growth, stagnant living standard and poor productivity and investment. The Labour leader made a plea while speaking at the British Chamber of Commerce.
Britain has been living through a lost decade of lost growth, a decade of stagnant living standards, a decade when investment and productivity fell so far that it takes a worker 5 days to produce what takes 4 days in Germany or France. This country cannot afford another lost decade. I've set out the framework for what a Labour government would do, but turning that vision into practice cannot be a job of government alone. Making our plans a reality will require the collaboration of everyone here today, businesses, educators and politicians. That's why I want to end with a final pledge. A Labour government will trust in your experience, listen to your expertise and work with you in partnership to create an education system that delivers for our economy, an economy that works for all, not just a few people. That's the challenge we all face. That's the challenge I'm absolutely up for, and I look forward to hearing your views and your participation as we develop the details of our policies.
U.S. President Donald Trump has hinted on the plan of the U.S. to enter into a trade deal with the U.K. in the aftermath of Brexit. The Prime Minister Theresa May and U.S. President Donald Trump, who met at the G20 meeting in Germany, promised to work closely together and keep the special relationship they share.
Can I say it's great to have an opportunity, Mr. President, to talk with you again and to continue to build on the special relationship we have with the United States.
Yes, thank you.
Looking forward to doing that, particularly obviously in the area of trade, and our talks are beginning very positively in that area. But there's a lot of other big international issues for us to talk about today, on counter-terrorism, on tensions in the Middle East. I think there's a great deal that we can work on together.
Yes, that's right. Well, we've had a great group of people together and really done a fantastic job together. I'd like to thank Prime Minister May for being with us. We've had tremendous talks. There is no country that could possibly be closer than our countries, and for a long time. And I just want to say thank you very much. We're working on a trade deal, which will be a very, very big deal, very powerful deal, great for both countries. And I think we'll have that done very, very quickly. We have all of our trade people. We have Wilbur Ross with us. We have all of the trade people. Rex and I had a tremendous meeting yesterday with President Putin. And we've had really great meetings with a lot of people. We're having a lot today, but Prime Minister May and I have developed a very special relationship. And I think trade will be a very big factor between our two countries. So I want to thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
The White House has said Donald Trump's decision to allow his first daughter, Ivanka Trump, represent him at a G20 meeting in Hamburg was a decision reached as the meeting fell within Ivanka's portfolio in the White House. President Trump has been heavily criticized for allowing his daughter to take his place at a power diplomatic delegation meeting during the G20 meetings.
For the White House, the G20 summit was nothing out of the ordinary. And White House Chief of Staff Reince Priebus portrays it as a positive meeting.
The president set the stage in Europe. The leaders of the G20 came to the president. He was a star in Hamburg, and no one can take that away. And the fact of the matter is, I think he's placing America first.
Some, however, see Trump placing family first. He is being chastised for exiting at least one and possibly as many as 3 G20 sessions, at least part of the time, and having his daughter occupy his chair. One of those instances, during a session on African development, revealed in a tweet, subsequently deleted, from a member of the Russian delegation. Critics are calling this unprecedented and a breach of diplomatic protocol. Former U.S. Treasury Secretary Lawrence Summers writes in comments published in the Financial Times and Washington Post, "There is no precedent for a head of government's adult child taking a seat. It was insulting to the others present and sent a signal of disempowerment regarding senior government officials." The president went on the defensive Monday, attempting to redirect via Twitter to focus to his opponent in last year's general election, Democrat Hillary Clinton. The former Secretary of State's daughter, Chelsea Clinton, quickly tweeted a retort to Trump. The president is correct in noting that the G20 host defended Ivanka Trump, taking the place of her father.
The delegations themselves decide, should the president not be present for a meeting, who will then take over and sit in the chair. And Ivanka Trump was part and parcel of the American delegation, so that is something that other delegations also do. And it is very well known that she works at the White House and that she also is engaged in certain initiatives.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders, a spokesperson for the White House, calls the criticism of Ivanka Trump an outrageous attack.
We should be proud to have Ivanka sitting in that seat, considering particularly the topic at hand was part of her portfolio. If she didn't have the last name that she has, I think she would be constantly celebrated instead of constantly attacked.
Donald Trump Jr. has released emails confirming that he met a Russian attorney last year in the belief that she was a Kremlin agent ready to hand over information damaging to Hillary Clinton's campaigns for president. The eldest son of President Donald Trump has since denied any wrongdoing in the latest row over Russia's role in the election that brought Donald Trump in as U.S. president.
The email exchange posted Tuesday by President Trump's eldest son shows him accepting an invitation to meet a Russian government attorney to receive what was described as a very high-level and sensitive information that is part of Russia and its government's support for Mr. Trump. Spokeswoman Sarah Huckabee Sanders read a terse one-line statement from President Trump.
My son is a high-quality person, and I applaud his transparency. And beyond that, I'm going to have to refer everything on this matter to John Jr.'s counsel and outside counsel and won't have anything else to add beyond that.
Opposition Democrats reacted sharply to the latest revelations, saying the emails make a mockery of White House denials that campaign operatives conspired with Russia to defeat Clinton.
The emails are the end of the idea pushed by the administration and the president that there is absolutely no evidence of intent to coordinate or collude.
Republicans admitted the emails look bad, even though the attorney denies being a Kremlin agent and had no compromising information. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell expressed support for ongoing investigations.
What I have a lot of confidence in is the Intelligence Committee handling this whole investigation. Senator Burr and Senator Warner have ball control, and we'll hear from them later.
Donald Trump Jr.'s emails raise legal questions that have never been asked before. Election law expert James Gardner spoke to us via Skype.
That there's just no precedent for this kind of a situation to arise. So we have statutes that are on the books, but they've never been asked to be applied in circumstances like this, which really were, are extremely, extremely unusual.
Trump Jr. has denied any wrongdoing and said he received no valuable information from his meeting with the Russian attorney.
Tomato farming in Kano State, northern Nigeria, is one of the state's main agricultural produces. The traditional farming process for the crop has denied the farmers the huge financial benefits of tomato farming. A new method of farming is being introduced to the farmers as revealed in this report.
When first approached to consider different methods of farming, most of these farmers aren't ready. Many listen intently as they think about their families back home. A few of them take that leap of faith or the risk to try out something new on their farms. This is Kano, the hub of tomato production in Nigeria. The fruit cum vegetable has been the bread and butter here for decades. Most of the farmers, however, have not been able to improve their lives much due to poor farming practices. Felix Taye is the officer in charge of training at Pixera Global, a grantee of the Rockefeller Foundation's Yieldwise initiative.
Tomato is a very lucrative business, but it depends on the time in which it is coming. Remember that tomato is a perishable product, so once it is not available at the time when people want it, you may not be able to get good price for it.
The first step of getting good tomatoes in the market is by changing from traditional methods of farming to mechanized farming. Farmers are also encouraged to start thinking business when cropping the fruit.
To make profit in tomato business, the point of profit starts from the kind of variety that you desire to put into the market. We have all kinds of varieties here. One particular variety is the one we call UC82B. This particular variety has long shelf life, and it has capacity to withstand harsh weather conditions, and then the size is relatively big. The same thing we have Rio. Rio is another variety that is not common at the moment, and once you look at that one too, it has ability to resist heat, high temperature, or even diseases, and its seed too is quite sizable. Then we have what we call Chibili. Chibili is the best of them all. This one has ability to withstand pests and diseases, and it has long shelf life, and the size is really very big, very attractive. And then we have another variety which we call Roma VF. This particular variety, even though it has the capacity to resist high temperature and the rest of them, it's not as big as every other variety. And that one is commonly produced for the fresh markets, unlike the other varieties that can go in to processing and other things.
Abdallah Kadani is a 40-year-old farmer. He has farmed tomatoes half of his life. Today, he's among the farmers who are here to get retrained on improving their business eye when farming tomato next season.
Noman da ake yi na da an dade ana yin sa ba a samun wani riba mai yawa.
There is really a difference between the cropping pattern or the kind of farm engaged, and these are the ones I am currently doing because I already acquired so many skills and knowledge on how to crop and use pesticides and water during irrigation. I am currently having the kind of mindset that farming is really growing, not like before.
This is not Abdallah's first interaction with Pixera Global. He has seen the benefits from previous trainings.
I have benefited a lot. Before, my methods of watering plants and spraying pesticides were wrong. I used to spray every time during rainy and dry seasons. But through intervention, I have learned of proper times to do my watering and spraying.
Away from the training sessions, farmers in the villages of Kano are also reaping benefits.
Before, we were selling our tomato product in local market. But due to the influence of Pixera, they organized one company so-called Niger Frieds, which comes from Lagos. And they describe the type of tomato they want. So we used to sort the tomato into different categories. And we were appreciated. Before, we were mixing the whole tomato in one single basket. But now, due to their advice and modern techniques they gave us, we were able now to sort them into different categories. And people used to come in that very categories. Grade 1 goes to James Po, grade 2 go to other factors, and so many other industries.
At 52, Ilyasu has been able to increase his income and expand his investments.
This is my house, fattening house, and I have got it through what I have got from the tomato investment. Apart from this, I have a new house. Before I lived in a compound house which have, we are about 10 in number with different family. But now it helps me to invest and have a new plot, build a new house. It's under construction now.
The story of success might not be similar across this tomato land, but the small wins that farmers like Ilyasu and Abdallah are counting are testimonies that with the right intervention, tomato has the potential to lift many from despair.
That going CAC Europe coordinator Amos Oduayo Fashioner has been honored by the church for his meritorious service to the church, humanity, and the continent.
I thank the Lord God Almighty who has given me the grace to be the coordinator of all CAC in Great Britain and Europe continents for almost 14 years, because I started in 2003 and to this end, 2017. All the glory to God Almighty. Now the man that is succeeding me, I want all the members of CAC, Great Britain and Europe continent, and all the superintendents to give him enough of support, 100% of support, so that he might be able to build the right building on it.
We have been coming together for a long time, So, and it has been very nice to me. We have been very nice to each other. That is why sometimes you see we are twin, and people regard us as a team, even though we are not born the same day. But because of the love and the interest we have for each other, everybody knows that we are twin.
Wow. Can you tell us a little bit?
New position is something very, it demands. It demands a lot of things. It demands my power. It demands my time. It demands my brain. It demands everything that I can put it. But I want to do it so that I can satisfy my conscience and my God.
He's an administrator, and there is a father and a spirit-filled person, leader. So we thank God for his life, and he served us for a good 14 years. And during the service, most of his achievements in the office was read, and I think it's a such achievement before. Let me say, probably not such things like before, but during his tenure, greater and glorious things were done.
Thank you.
It is a privilege to be the chairman of the Transitional Committee, and Pastor Fashioner is the epitome of the work of God. And he has dispensed so much that we are unable to say it all. Like the secretary I just said, what he has achieved is enormous and it's legendary.
And with that story, we conclude the news roundup for this day. Thank you for being part of the program. I'm Tunde Alabi. Enjoy the rest of your week. Bye. As part of our continued efforts to reach the African and other ethnic communities in the United Kingdom with greater impacts and create the platform to hear your silent and unheard views in this hugely growing community in the United Kingdom, our channel, Ben TV, presents to you another live current affairs television program. Our focus on the program is to review and discuss issues around the diaspora community in the UK. The program offers you that unrestricted voice on issues affecting you in the UK. Join us live every Monday at 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Another business segment of Dialogue in Diaspora, 2 to 3 p.m. every Monday. But guess what? You know you can be part of the program. Just send us an email at bentelevisionuk@gmail.com. Dialogue in Diaspora, your voice, your opinion on our TV.